On today's show, bird hunts to remember.
Right down the road.
Up first, a wilderness getaway close to home. This public land hunt comes with guarantees. Well, until the weather sets in. America's bird hunting nomad takes the road less traveled. His countrywide adventure starts in Minnesota and ends with a bang in Arizona.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill and I welcome you to today's bird adventure.
Okay, we're doing it. Today we're going to spill the beans on a really cool wilderness destination that's really close to home.
Just over the border in Wisconsin is Douglas County, a public oasis, especially if you love to hunt.
Some things hunters covet at all cost. Pure public land certainly qualifies. Rich Wissink covets camping right here.
Well, I think the canvas tents make a lot of it. I mean, the smells of the canvas, the wood stoves, it's the hiss of that Coleman lantern or the cook stove going in the morning and bacon frying. It's the jokes in the evening and the good shots and the bad shots and the good, it's the total experience that makes this camp what it is.
This is Douglas County, tucked away in far northwestern Wisconsin. 270,000 acres of timber and remote roads. Home to Rich Wissink's fall camp.
Been doing it for a while, so we've had, made a lot of revisions. Grizz and I have been doing this for about 30 years. Get a toast? Sure. Throw it on the griddle?
That's Grizz there. Together, these two camp and hunt in Douglas County.
For the most part, we make it up almost every year. Close to 30 years, at least 25 years we've been coming.
Fact is, everyone wants to meet these two.
Darren and Buddy Ray from Georgia are just two of those special people in our lives. We really have had people from all over the country, and we've made some incredible lifelong friendships.
This is a story about opportunity.
Me personally, I love this.
Douglas County's administrators want people using these woods, more public forests than any other county in Wisconsin. Rich and Grizz come for fall bird hunts.
Got a point.
And these woods deliver in spades.
Didn't take too long. When they're plentiful, it's a lot of action.
Grouse. Oh, right down the road. Did you get that?
In a single morning, we see more woodcock and grouse than any hunt I can remember.
A hen woodcock.
So in 35 minutes, we've got about 6 flushes.
Coming out!
And to think, this happens on easily accessed public land.
Bird down.
And here for anybody to enjoy. I mean, that's the amazing thing.
Don't forget, this is an active forest. These logging projects and logging roads provide access to campers and hunters. The work also creates pristine habitat for grouse and woodcock.
You know, a lot of people, there's parts of the country they don't hunt because they don't have land to hunt on. That's no excuse in Wisconsin. We're on county forest land now.
I feel really good. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, with people I'm supposed to be with.
Hunting fun with Rich sure seems predictable. The weather, not so much. understatement. 20 miles up the road on Lake Superior, a classic late fall gale socks us in.
Only thing you can do is hunker down, try to ride it out for a while, but I think this trip could be done.
The weather might feel forgettable, but we will always remember Douglas County. No rain check needed on this trip. Coming up after the break, this Minnesota man hunts border to border. We explain next.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Rapala, Midwest Exteriors MN, and by Ice Castle Fish House and RV.
Up next, the story of a Minnesota bird hunter who left everything behind, and I mean everything, to chase his hunting dream. Travis Frank explains.
First things first, we brew coffee.
Patrick Flanagan lives by the motto, if it's meant to be, it's up to me.
It's written on my chest.
And it's written on the wall inside his 1971 Zeppelin.
In November will be my 3rd year living outside.
Pat lives outside with his dogs 365 days a year.
Yeah, this is home. I'm pretty proud of it.
Miles from the nearest gym, he lifts weights in the woods.
Gotta get the blood flowing.
He began this morning routine early in life while watching his famous uncles, the Fighting Flanagans.
So the Flanagans are Hall of Fame world-class boxers from the 40s and 50s. My Uncle Del and Glenn together amassed over 230 pro fights.
Pat once followed their path
I did. I had a few fights.
before joining the U.S. Navy.
3 years and a year active reserves.
While serving our country, he became a handball champion.
Won 2 nationals as a youth. Got recruited down to Southwest Missouri State University in Springfield, Missouri.
An injury eventually forced him to the sidelines and into the corporate world.
Print advertising. Oh, 17 years.
But that didn't stick.
It wasn't me, you know? It just wasn't me.
Patrick quit his job, sold his suburban Minneapolis home, and followed his heart into the forest.
It was the only choice. It really was.
He bought a tent and began training bird dogs.
This was home number 2, the wall tent, which I slept in all of last year, and then picked up this old 1971 Zeppelin, we call it. It's the hunting shack, you know?
Living on roads less traveled, Patrick Flanagan also picked up the title of America's bird hunting nomad.
This is life.
A life that's evolved into a one-of-a-kind bird hunting career. This is number 8, that one's number 9. It's an impressive lineup.
Hank, come. He's my number 1. He gets to do whatever he wants. He's the oldest dog in the group. He's also my best friend. I personally don't like streetlights, honking cars, or traffic. And I spend about 89% of my time on dirt roads. Pretty free.
In a remote forest on Minnesota state land, we follow Pat's German short-haired pointers down an old logging road.
We're in the great north woods of Minnesota, surrounded by habitat bred for grouse and woodcock. Nacho. Whoop. There we go. Whoa. Whoop. There's a bird in here. Oh, where'd it go? I don't know.
Even the best dogs can be fooled by the king.
Well, the rough grouse is the king of all uplands.
Right there, right here. They're so birdie.
Oh, that's forever whole. That was a good bird. It's the most humbling bird we'll ever encounter.
Oh, there goes a woodcock. Oh,
There goes another one. They beat you almost every time. Yeah, he's at 27 yards. Whoa, Nacho. Whoop, whoop. Woodcock, over your head. Whoa.
Did you get it?
No. I'm a better guide than I am a hunter.
Back at camp, we reminisce about our chances and count the ones that got away. 30 miles from Minnesota's northern border, I get a sense of Patrick's everyday life, but his guide service is called Border to Border Outfitters, which means there's another end to this journey for America's bird hunting nomad. Straight ahead, we take aim at Montezuma quail near the Arizona-Mexico border, frying fajitas in the desert over an open flame.
Closed captioning provided by Star Bank.
Patrick Flanagan lives in America's wildest places.
Yeah, I slept outside for 3 years, 365 days a year.
In 2014, he left the corporate world to become a traveling bird hunter. He bet on his dogs and his hunting skills, launching Border to Border Outfitters. His hunting season begins in late September near the Minnesota-Ontario border. After flushing grouse and woodcock, he hunts his way south.
Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, Colorado, Kansas.
Ultimately, parking his hunting rig near the Arizona-Mexico border, his second home.
It's pretty special. Scenery is unbelievable.
And of course, the bird hunting can be unbelievable too.
Arizona quail, scale quail, Gambel's quail, and Mern's quail.
Arizona has more public land than we can hunt in an entire season, maybe even a lifetime.
Millions of acres to come and find a place to make your own and explore.
Exactly why Pat spends his winters in this desert.
Point, right in the bush. Seriously, right here. Look.
Whoop.
Right here. Whoa. Oh, hens. Oh, it was hen, and then I saw one cockbird.
Mern's quail are covey birds that thrive in high elevation oak savannas.
There it is.
In southern Arizona and New Mexico.
Beautiful bird.
This is what I wanted you to get.
Oh, man. Dang. That is incredible. That's a trophy of a lifetime for most hunters.
Following his dogs and his heart, this once-in-a-lifetime hunt has become Patrick's everyday norm.
You know, people always say you want to make your job your passion. Could be like, oh, well, your hobby is now driven by money, but you know, I just don't have a lot of money and I still love every day, so I guess I love what I do. And Tommy's on point. Oh, here. Good boy.
Is there a better looking upland game bird?
This is not one that is this unique. I mean, it looks outer space, really. Then it doesn't get old. You can do it 1,000 times, and the 1,001st time, it's just as good. There's a grand finale right here.
That was one of the coolest covey rises I've ever seen.
Come here, buddy. Here. Good boy. What do you think?
Impressive.
From Minnesota's forests to Arizona's cactus-covered mountains, we end this border-to-border hunt with quail cooked over an open flame.
Oh my goodness, Pat. This is how you do it.
A fitting end to a bucket list bird hunt alongside America's bird hunting nomad.
Cheers. Well done.
Thank you.
Still ahead, we go back in time with a Minnesota icon. Bud Grant loves life outdoors.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories, Minnesota Historical Society, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Commercial, customized Jeeps, cars, SUVs, and of course, trucks.
Yep, and still your truck accessory pros.
13 convenient locations and online at radco.com.
Radco, your truck accessories pro.
Ice Castle Fish Houses and RVs are the oldest and largest manufacturer of fish houses in the world. For more than 20 years, every ice castle has been hand-built right here in Minnesota. Look across nearly any frozen lake today and you'll likely see an ice castle. That's because these houses change the way families can enjoy the outdoors. You can camp in an ice castle. You can't ice fish in an RV. Ice Castle Fish Houses and RVs, revolutionizing today's outdoor lifestyle.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes us back to the year 1998.
Back when Ron Shera spent time with outdoor icon and Hall of Fame football coach Bud Grant.
In Minnesota, when you say Bud, it's not a brew. It's a legendary football coach famed for his steely eyes and face of stone.
I didn't create that. You guys created that.
His name, Bud, also isn't really his.
Well, you can't, when you've got two people with the same name in the same household, you call Harry, who's gonna come? You know, my father or me. Well, so my mother started calling me Buddy Boy, and then that just went from the Buddy Boy, I changed it to Bud, and so that's how it comes out.
Now in his 80th decade, Bud Grant maintains the same two passions he's always had, sports and the outdoors.
I hunt every week. I got you know, a grandson playing at the University of Minnesota. I got a grandson playing at North Dakota. I've got a son who coaches high school football, which won the state championship for the 7th time this year. And then I'm at the Vikings on Sundays. So football is still an interest of mine.
Coach Grant lives alone in the same South Metro Rambler first bought after joining the Vikings way back in 1967. It also was a home shared with his wife Pat, where they raised 6 children, hunting dogs, and ravens. Pat died in February 2009. Today, the house has been turned into Bud Grant's man cave.
When I got the grandkids, they'll say, "Grandpa, where'd you get that one?" I'll tell them.
Have you ever counted how many antlers you have in here?
It's probably 100.
Really?
Yeah. And they're not all trophies, but they do represent a story.
Grant's athletic career spanned almost 4 decades, including not 1, but 4 Super Bowl defeats. Is he over them?
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to be in coaching, you suffer through those losses for one day. If you're going to keep your sanity, your mental health, it can't last more than a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go on to the next step. Mm-hmm. If that's going to eat you up, you're in the wrong business.
Do you miss coaching?
I do every time I go to the bank. You know, nowadays the coaches make a lot more than I ever made.
But when the subject is the outdoors and conservation, Coach Grant is far from silent.
Minnesota is very, very lucky. I mean, if you go to, say, for example, to Texas, you couldn't hunt deer in Texas unless you got a lease or you hire an outfitter. That's what I want to maintain, make sure that we've got this public land so that our grandkids and you and I still, as long as we can get around, can still find a place to hunt and fish. It's Boom.
Boom,
I think that's an appropriate name for a dog.
Yes, it is.
Oh yes, his other pet is a monarch butterfly.
They live all year. It's, you know, it's a little monarch.
So goes the legend of Harry Peter Grant Jr. Boom the dog and a butterfly in a jar, not far from an NFL Hall of Fame bust in close proximity to wolf pelts hanging amid other stuff. Memories all. Which raises the question, what's left when you're a legend?
So you say, what's ahead? Tomorrow is ahead. That's about as far as I can look.
Man, I loved watching him when I was a little kid.
He's a legend in the field and on the field.
For sure. Hey, don't forget, if you've got a great story idea for us, please reach out to us on the Minnesota Bound Facebook page.
Because we would love to hear from you.
Well, that about does it for us. We hope to see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.